and welcome to New Village Girls Academy's first ever online annual event. What a year this has been. Thank you all so much for joining us today, and boy, do we have a beautiful program for you. This year has been filled with so many different challenges, and we've adapted to every single challenge that has come before us and come out more innovative and stronger than ever before. My name is Jennifer Quinones, and I'm the principal of New Village. I have to say, for me, it is an absolute honor every single day that I get to come to work to continue to serve my community. From the moment that I walked into our school's doors and saw a school that was truly addressing the needs of their student body, from that moment, I said, I would love to make this my home. New Village is my home. New Village is not only my home, but the home of our students and also our alumni. Today, I have a beautiful story of one of our students who's just about to graduate from UC Berkeley.
I had given birth and I had moved in with my partner, which was my daughter's father. And, we were both young. We were both 15 when we moved in with each other. We were living with his parents. And I, found myself in a toxic, unhealthy relationship. There was, at the time I didn't really understand or register what it was. He didn't want, he used to be very controlling. So he didn't want me to go to high school, to a public co-ed high school, even though I told him that all I've ever wanted to do was just to go to school and to go to college. And I just felt like going to college would have given me an opportunity to have a better standard of living. And it wasn't until sharing those experiences with, a staff member from the New Village office, until I had that support and, I had those adults in my life to say no, this isn't normal. And just because you've experienced this and, your family has experienced this for generations, it's not normal. And, this isn't a healthy relationship. And ultimately, you're going to have to do what makes you happy, what makes your daughter happy, but what's going to be best for both of your lives. Also being able to work with, being able to volunteer at Hollywood Presbyterian or at Homies Unidos during my time at New Village. Those skills are so important and fundamental that even in college, that is what you're doing all the time is you're looking for an internship, you're looking for connections. And I have found it so much easier. And what I loved about New Village's approach or the project-based learning approach was that, it helps you ask a question, but also investigate and really critically think. And that's something that I've loved so much that even now at UC Berkeley, I am getting my bachelor's in American Studies, and my area of concentration is going to be health policy, data, and activism in the US.
Hello, everybody. My name is Crystal Rodriguez. I'm the internships coordinator at New Village Girls Academy. I'm super excited to introduce you to the next segment of our program, where we are going to actually be showing you our internship for the girls. That is mentored by Kyle Denman, who's a fashion designer by trade.
So it's going to be lying down.
It's like something.
I don't have to say, open a textbook. I can say, let's get up out of our seats and do something that's hands-on and creative.
When you go in there, you're just ready to have fun and you're ready to use your ideas and use what inspires you.
We'll actually get to design in groups of maybe 3 or 4.
They give me a lot of freedom to explore what I find interesting about the textures and the visuals of clothing. Coming from Uganda, my culture definitely likes bright, vibrant colors.
I think it's incredibly important to share with each of them that you don't have to know something right now in order to try something, in order to love something.
I feel like that would be really cool if you did that with if we used recycled material and use that over the caging.
I love that idea, right?
Yeah.
To teach these girls that there is no limit to the human capacity to create. and to use my platform and to use my privilege in order to hopefully share these girls' cultural narratives and to humanize the relationship that people can have with one another and with art, I think is something that I will forever be thankful for.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
I'm Jesus Roman. I am a math teacher and advisor at New Village. It's a challenge to teach via Zoom, especially because you don't get to see students' reactions. Just being able to read them is such a crucial part of teaching that is definitely making it more difficult. Having students at the same time in a Zoom room gives them a sense of they're still connected to each other, gives them a sense of community. And I'll always give them a platform for them to talk about what are some of their concerns, what are some of them are doing to keep themselves occupied, or how are they helping their parents, how are they helping their neighbors. Some of them tell me that they're anxious or worried about the loss of income from their parents, and or whether they'll have enough resources in the next month, next 2 months. That's just some of the things that we're doing to still have a sense of community and in sharing experiences.
As soon as we discovered that we would have to shut down our school, immediately what we did was think about what would be in the best interest of the girls. How could we help them move along? So we did a needs assessment of all of our families, and we asked them simple questions. One was, do you have access to food? Do you have access to mental health services? Do you have access to technology? And do you have access to the internet? And in doing that, we got a better idea of what our students would need. Today, we are able to offer about 500 meals to not only our girls, but also their siblings, our community, and partner with St. Anne's. We're able to feed a lot of the families that have been impacted, much like all of us, by COVID-19. The next thing that we did was to get a better idea of whether they had access to mental health services. We asked the students, what's going on? How can we help you? And today we have our social worker and our school psychologist constantly checking in with the girls to ensure that they feel supported and to feel fit enough to continue their classes. We also asked the girls if they had access to technology, which was an interesting question, only because although the girls did see themselves having access to technology, many of them had to share computers with many other family members. So one thing that we did was we ensured that all of our girls had access to a computer that they could use on their own. That also came with the additional question of, do you have access to the internet? And that's really where the challenges came up. Part of it was some girls did, some did not. And so after getting a better understanding of where they were, we were able to purchase hotspots for our girls so they could have access to that. We are still continuing to purchase hotspots because the reality is our students may have access to internet 1 month, but bills come in and sometimes parents can't afford to continue to pay those bills. So we're trying everything we can on our end to make all of that accessible to our girls as those needs come up.
Sorry.
Hi, my name is Brian Howell, and I'm a teacher advisor at New Village Girls Academy. It's been a very unique and challenging time for all of us. We recently had a transition to online learning using Zoom. I've tried to keep my instruction as seamless as possible for my students. In doing so, I utilize a lot of the same activities I would normally use in the classroom. One of these activities in particular is the quote of the week reflection. Every Monday, my students come into the room and there is a quote of the week on the board for them to reflect on and share out with the group. When we reconvened after the COVID-19 break, I posted a quote by Paulo Coelho, the Brazilian author of The Alchemist, in my Zoom room. The quote reads, "When we least expect it, life sets the challenge to test our courage and willingness to change. At such a moment, there is no point in pretending that nothing has happened or in saying that we're not yet ready. The challenge will not wait. Life does not look back." I got a lot of amazing responses to this quote, a lot of deep and profound reflections. But there was one reflection in particular that really struck me deeply, and that was by our student Luisana. It struck me so deeply that I reread the quote several times throughout the week and meditated on it. Her reflection reads, "To me, this phrase means that when you get to that moment when your decisions are to go straight ahead, because you have no other options. At that moment, when you hit bottom, you can no longer think about how you got there or question something you cannot change because you're 100 meters under the water and your only choice is to go up and take a breath or you die. That moment when the only action is to move forward and the only path is the one that shows you a flash of light to leave behind the darkness in which you were submerged. Keep going despite adversity. You've been strong enough to be where you are, and you have to be strong enough again to step into the unexpected that turns out to be the future at times. Here's Luisana.
I was born in Venezuela. I came here 2 years ago. And I live with my mom and my brother and me. My brother, he is 19 years old, but he actually thinks like at 3 years old. And they told us that he could be like 60 and he's gonna still thinking like as a kid. For me, it's the most natural thing like in my life. I love my brother. He's my whole life. So it's like a whole new start, a whole new house, a whole new language, a whole new culture. It was hard. My mom working and me wanted to go to school, wanted to learn a new language. My currently internship is Homies Unidos. There I get to know a lot about history, immigration, very serious problems. After I graduate, I'm looking forward to go to university. I want to study psychology and computer engineering. When I came to New Village, I got the support that you wouldn't have in other high schools. Like in other high school, you're just a number, but here you actually like people worry about you.
Hi again, this is Chriselle. At New Village Girls Academy, we have a very exciting annual event called Career Day. Career Day is an opportunity for members of the community to come and build relationships with their students and talk about their professions. This year, we were really lucky to have an activism panel filled with some amazing individuals who left some really inspiring words for our students.
I think for me, the thing that was most helpful was having strong women around me that I looked up to who could sort of say, here are some ideas. And I just think mentors are huge in all of our journeys. I still have a mentor. I think everyone should have one.
My name is Brenda Gutierrez. I am a member of American Indian Movement, as well as a co-founder of Me Too March International and Occupy Isolate. And I'm also a sexual assault and domestic violence advocate.
My essential question is how it is like growing up as a child that has been like abused or like sexual abused. Like how does it affect them?
We've done a lot of organizing around sexual assault awareness and teaching our youth what a healthy relationship looks like.
I'm Matt Rivas. I work at the Human Rights Campaign, running their digital and social media. We march for rights, whether that's LGBT rights, women's rights, like Black Lives Matter, all of it. When I first started doing activism, I didn't realize that would be something that I would pursue career-wise. At the time, especially during high school, I was doing mainly video, and then I just realized how to use social media as a tool to leverage myself into my career.
My essential question is how can we address the needs of the homeless population? I'm curious why the government is not helping them as much.
My name is Mary David, and I am the Director of Communications at Journey Out. We provide services for adult survivors of sex trafficking. We provide what we call wraparound services, so that's everything from emergency housing to clinical counseling to art therapy programs and emergency crisis response with survivor advocates.
Working at Journey Out is really great to really propel the messaging through storytelling.
My essential question is, with the rise in global warming, what climatic conditions are expected 50 years from now?
Now there's a lot of organizations that are community-led. We see it with the Sunrise Movement, Students Deserve, Black Lives Matter. The community is starting to become more aware and more awake. You need to start educating your community if you want to start seeing change.
I've been fortunate to be part of the outdoor education at New Village as well. Last spring, we spent 5 days at Yosemite, and those 5 days seemed like 10 days, but it was beautiful, it was amazing. And in the next clip, we're gonna have Rebecca telling us a little bit about her experience and how is it that a trip like that is so transformative for them.
My experience in Yosemite, I loved being there. Like, it was so like quiet, but like not quiet because you can hear all the birds. The vibe was just so like relaxing. Inhaling this air, I want to experience that again. And I remember the night where we had the bonfire and we were all laughing when I looked up at the sky and it was just glistening with stars. It was hard. It was raining and like I was cold. And there was moments where I just wanted to like go home and crawl in bed. When the hike and like the whole trip was over, I remember telling myself that if I didn't have like my classmates and my teachers there to support me, I just felt like I was at home with them. If I did that, I can do anything.
Hello, I'm Dan Pozell, Board Chair of New Village Girls Academy. As some of you know, New Village uses the big picture learning approach. That's real-world experiences on and off campus connected to each student's genuine interests. You've seen this in our internships, our academic work, and in our exploratory trips. I truly feel fortunate to be able to serve our students. And here now are some of my esteemed colleagues to share their perspectives and insights.
So I was a teacher for 9 years, and then I was a principal for about 5 years. And then I moved over to LA County Office of Education. And when you go into education, you don't go into education for the financial standpoint. You go into education because you want to build future leaders and you have a heart for students. And I truly believe that all students should have an opportunity, no matter what their socioeconomic background is. And seeing New Village and providing these opportunities for our students, it just really fills my heart with joy. And I really wanted to see this model that was being done and being developed, and how could this positive model be taken and worked across all different schools in order to help students.
The big picture approach is so ideal for a school like New Village because it focuses on kids where they are rather than where they should be. Hopefully we get them where they should be. But it's so individualized and makes the curriculum so pertinent to the individual girl and what their interests might be, so that the kids who come to us have something that means something, a connector.
I don't think I've ever been involved, and I've spent the overwhelming majority of my working time in the nonprofit sector, where a more high-risk, challenged group of kids has been involved. And any program has met the needs of the kids it served as well as New Village has. I think it's a model for education, period, anywhere, any place.
My story is a story of many first generation, kids. My dad became disabled when I was in my early 20s. I'm the oldest of 3, and when I was 11 years old, my sister was born with mental retardation. And so that completely changed our lives because I was charged with having to figure out and navigate resources and services for my sister. There still isn't enough resources, but for folks that are underserved and under resources, just even understanding what's there and how to access that is just a huge challenge. The flip side to that is that these are young women who, because of their challenges, are very determined and very resilient. And I know firsthand, when you have that surrounded by a quality education and all of these support and resources, honestly, you can accomplish anything you want.
I think if there were a single greatest gift that New Village provides our girls, it's a sense that they have a life worth living, they have a personal value so that they have control of their lives. They can make decisions that affect their lives. In fact, that they have the ability to determine the outcomes of their life.
This is a time that we really all need to come together to really support our foster youth. During these times, we find that there is economic stress in regards to the educational system, and especially within charter schools. So really coming together to really help and support to ensure our students are getting exactly what they need to ensure they are able to move forward for graduation, receiving their supplies. This is where we would love for everybody to come and help and come together to ensure our students are thriving.
When our girls walk through our doors, we're here to provide them whatever services they may need to be successful. Whether that's providing mental health services or finding some kind of childcare for some of our young mothers, or just finding a program that's going to be able to meet girls where they are, that's what we're here to do. That's who we're here to serve.
I never had a relationship with like school staff before. It was more like, okay, you're my boss. Here we have a family relationship with each other. We're so comfortable with each other that we can like joke around with each other. And my grades are now A's and B's.
The social worker here, Mr. Tapaste, I found out I was pregnant in July, and I started attending school here in August. He connected me with all the resources that I need, not only to finish high school and to focus on my academics. He connected me with resources to the transitional living. He connected me with all the resources that I have now for my daughter.
For many of our girls, that opportunity to build social capital, it's something that they've never been able to experience.
When I was teaching in high school, we were very much focused on narratives and people being, given agency to speak their stories and where they had come from in life, and kind of recognizing that, giving recognition to that process of storytelling.
What we offer is unheard of in most places, but it's only possible because of the investment that's been made by our community partners, the investment that's been made by our teachers and our staff, our friends, our family.
We want to emphasize that post-secondary education is a possibility. So many of the scholars who walk through our doors have viewed that as not necessarily being the most viable option. We want to change that narrative, and we want them to change their own perspectives of saying, we can do this.
Here, I'm going tag. I need to identify what I've read in the novel The Pearl by John Steinbeck.
I can teach you skills. I can't teach heart. They have it.
New Village offers an opportunity to our young ladies to be who they are, to bring their full potential. So whether it's a newcomer, it's English learners, a teen mom, whether it's someone who has maybe experienced homelessness and has been at 4, 5, 10 schools, what I think New Village reminds us is that the relationship and the powerful connection of people is still the strongest power of learning.
Last year, about 60% of our graduating class went into STEM-related fields. We've been able to do that here through innovative ideas in regards to how we're delivering science instruction, but also in internship and their opportunity to explore STEM-related fields.
I've done the JPL Challenge 2 years in a row. This is my second year, my last year. And this is the first time I actually went to state finals. It's completely different from just going to a school to an actual campus where they do engineering and stuff. And for me, that's amazing because I'm going into mechanical engineering and also art. Even though, yeah, it's a competition, but it's fun to just even create something that works.
This is something that for many of the girls was not in the stars for them. Many of them did not believe they had the capacity to be able to make those kinds of decisions, or that they were even going to qualify for something like that.
So far, I've been accepted to 5 universities, 2 Cal States, which are Cal State LA and Cal State Dominguez Hills, Alfred University, Penn State, and Sierra Nevada University.
My projection of the future is something like what you find yourself surrounded by every day. You kind of walk into the world and either you're in the car or on the train, but you see hardworking people like by the millions around you, and I want to be one of those people. I want to be taking care of business somewhere. I want to be somewhere working when somebody who's wondering what they want to do with their life is walking past. I dream about working hard and it paying off and succeeding.
Here at New Village, because we're able to provide them with different resources and help them through that process of transitioning into adulthood, those dreams become realities. That's who we are. It's what we do, day in and day out.
I was originally born in Uganda. I want to go and see if I can help my country, like the young women there, and see if I can help them get to where I am and learn the things that I've learned. I want to be able to bring joy to people and then also just a hope. That's something that I've been able to learn throughout my time here at New Village, but then also just like coming to America.
It's not a community that's going to leave once you graduate, and they'll keep on supporting you throughout your life, throughout their lives.
It's beautiful to see our girls come together with the community and build this collective spirit of celebration. I speak for our whole school in that I can't wait for the day that we can all come together again to enjoy each other's company. I do, however, get to see one particular person rather often, obviously with 6 feet of distance, but I do get to see our school psychologist and very dear friend, Tanya. Tanya has been vital in providing mental health services for our girls during this crisis, and she's also one of those people that you see in the classroom monitoring whether a student needs support. So, without further ado, here's a message from Tanya.
I came to New Village because of some of the same reasons why our students come to New Village. They want to be in a place where it's loving and kind and everybody's respectful of each other. It's unlike any other place. All of our students are so different, and I love all of them so much. Over this past year, I've really just seen so many of them just blossom in front of my eyes, and going on all these adventures with them, because New Village offers so many different things that we can do with the girls. It's just been so amazing. I wish that every girl had the experience that the girls here at New Village have. And that experience comes from our donors. Being able to do the things that they probably never would have been able to do, or think that they could do, or even have. It is so comforting to see their faces light up when they come back from a hiking trip, or when we're able to provide them with food or a bassinet for their baby because they had to have an emergency C-section. Like, these things that our donors help us to provide for our girls is just beyond amazing. And it just gives our girls so much that they need. And there's no other school out there like ours. There's not one.